sentence you to life in confinement without parole.
That's f***ing horse shit. You do whatever the f*** you want.
Why are they shutting my mic off?
I'm the federal witness of the United States federal government. I demand some goddamn respect, you. All I did was trespass on property.
Ma'am, you gotta create the community that you want to live in.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
Okay, I've made this go live on YouTube, and let's get started. Good morning, everyone. This is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. My name is Brad Gardner, and I'm a judge in this court. I'm here to inform you of the charges that have been filed against you, to advise you of certain rights, to set bail on those offenses that I'm authorized to set bail, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing, but should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you. So please don't discuss the facts of your case. During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights: to the presumption of innocence, to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors, to a speedy and public trial by jury, to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you, to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf, to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense, and to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail. These bonds may be posted by cash, commercial, or property. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to certain places. You will also be prohibited from contacting the victim while you are in jail. If you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you can remain in jail until your trial. You could also receive additional felony charges. It is important to note that if someone is listed as a victim in your case, that person will not be allowed to post your bond. Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a judge of the Superior Court of Clayton County, and you will be informed of that date. If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond at this time. Where the bond is appropriate in your case will be reconsidered after your probation officer has had an opportunity to consider this new arrest. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations against you. The standard at this stage is very low. A judge determining whether a charge goes forward at this stage only has to determine that it is possible that the crime occurred. Everyone has the ability to waive their right to a preliminary hearing. However, you should speak to a lawyer first if you are unsure about whether it is appropriate to waive your preliminary hearing. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived. You will receive notice at the address you give of your next court date. Lastly, I need everyone to raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm any statements you make during this proceeding shall be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Let's start on the ladies' side with Miss Megan Chambers.
Can I take a seat, Ms. Chambers? Come forward.
Ms. Chambers, ma'am, you're being charged with one count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act and one count of obstructing an officer. I'm denying bond on the felony drug charge right now. You have a warrant for your arrest out of the Henry County Sheriff's Office that was issued on March 7th of this year for carrying a prohibited weapon. You're going to have a $2,000 bond set on the obstruction of a law enforcement charge. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning. That will most likely be by Zoom. You're going to also have a bond hearing date set for June 3rd. Would you lower the volume a little bit on the computer? I'm getting some feedback.
Yes, y'all.
So, ma'am, I see that you refused to fill out the form for the appointment of a lawyer. Are you going to hire your own lawyer or are you going to represent yourself?
I do have a lawyer. He just couldn't make it today. He said there's no need for him to be here for the bond hearing.
Okay. What's the lawyer's name?
Christopher Harris.
Okay. Well, tell Mr. Harris of first of the warrant, if he doesn't know about the warrant out of Henry County, and of your court dates. Do you have any questions for me, ma'am?
What was the date again?
June 1st for the preliminary hearing.
Prelim, and that's for this county?
Yes, ma'am. And June 3rd for a bond hearing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You're free to go back, ma'am.
Davis.
Miss Cassandra Davis.
Dunn, you're next.
Miss Davis, ma'am, you've been charged with a number of driving-related offenses and 2 drug-related offenses. The first charge is driving a vehicle with no insurance. Bond is going to be set at $1,000 for that offense. The second charge is driving a vehicle with an expired or invalid tag. Bond is going to be set at $500. The third charge is driving a vehicle with a cracked windshield. Bond is going to be also set at $500. The third or fourth charge is using or concealing the identity of a tag. Bond is going to be set at $500. Obstructing or hindering the display of a license plate. Bond is going to be set at $500. Misdemeanor possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Bond is going to be set at $1,500. And felony possession of THC oil. Bond is going to be set at $5,000. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning. That's going to be by Zoom. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay. You do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, ma'am.
Dunn.
Rashida Dunn.
Hargrove, you're next.
Okay. Miss Dunn, ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. This is a misdemeanor offense. Bond is going to be set at $3,000. There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond, a stay away from a Marquise Rogers. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May 31st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
You do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back. Ms. Hargrove.
Harris, you're next.
Ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of battery, family violence. Bond is going to be set at $5,000. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Gregory Gardner. Do you understand that?
Yes, yes.
I'll let you ask whatever question you want at the end, okay? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May 31st at 8:30 in the morning. Courtroom 201, that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. It says that you refuse to fill the form out. Are you going to hire your own lawyer?
No.
Are you going to represent yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess. Yes.
Now, you were about to say something, and I cut you off. What were you going to tell me?
With the bond thing, I don't have any family here. I have a 9-year-old and a 14-year-old at home. It's going to be hard for me to bond out of here.
Okay. I mean, okay. And I generally try not to get into the facts of the case, just the allegations. But didn't that occur to you before?
The only person I got to bond me out is Gregory, and you just told me to stay away from me. I don't know anyone here. And no, I did not think about it.
Okay, well, ma'am, I mean, actions have consequences. Okay. All right, you're free to go back, ma'am.
The bond is $5,000.
Yes, ma'am.
And how much I pay on that?
You can go through a bonding company, and they generally charge a percentage. I tell people I don't work for the bonding company, so I can't tell you what they will charge you, but it's generally anywhere from 10 to 12% of the bond.
And the date of the court is
May 31st at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll receive a new court date in the mail.
okay. All right.
All right. Okay, you're free to go back. Katrina Harris.
Laura, you're next.
Ms. Harris, ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of driving under the influence of alcohol to the extent it made you a less safe driver. Bond is going to be set at $5,000. You're charged with 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce. That's a misdemeanor. Bond is going to be set at $1,500. You're charged with 1 count of impeding traffic. Bond is set at $500, and 1 count of violation of Georgia's seatbelt law. Bond is going to be set at $500. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 31st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
You said it's May 31st at 8:30 a.m.
Yes, ma'am. But that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and your charges will get transferred to state court.
Okay.
Any other questions, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Roxanna Laura.
Lemay, you're next.
Miss Laura, ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of impeding traffic. Bond is going to be set at $500, and 1 count of driving under the influence of alcohol to the extent that it made you a less safe driver. Bond is going to be set at $5,000. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May 31st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, thank you.
Okay. Do you have any questions of me?
No.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Lemay. Oh, it's you, sorry.
I have Lindsey Smith as the next person.
That's my area.
Miss Lindsey Smith, ma'am, you're charged with driving under the influence of alcohol to the extent that it made you a less safe driver. Bond is going to be set at $5,000 for that offense. 1 count of an open container violation. Bond is going to be set at $500. And 1 count of driving a vehicle on an expired or invalid tag. Bond is going to also be set at $500. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 31st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you will receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Just so I'm clear, my total bond will be the total amount of this, and if I go through a bonds person, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Now, there are fees that are added. The sheriff's department is required to add fees to the bond, so it'll be a little bit higher than this $6,000. But they have the fee schedule and I don't, so that's why I can't give you what the added fees will be.
Okay.
All right. Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Miss Mason?
Next.
Miss Mason, ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of driving under the influence of alcohol to the extent it made you a less safe driver. Your bond is going to be set at $5,000. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 31st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, please.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No questions.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Miss Tanil Murrell.
Morrell. What's the name, brother?
Murrell.
I believe that's a male, Your Honor.
Oh, Jesus, it is. Thank you. Miss
I have
P.
yes, sir. She's right here. Ben, you're next.
Miss Peak, ma'am, you're charged with a number of offenses. A red light violation, bond is going to be set at $500. 2 felony violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act charges. Bond is going to be set at $10,000 apiece for those. 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Bond is going to be set at $1,500. 1 count of possession with intent to distribute a controlled substance. Bond is going to be set at $10,000. 1 count of looks like possession. Sorry, hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Count of manufacture of or distribution of a controlled substance. Bond is set at $10,000. 1 count of possession of a Schedule I controlled substance. Bond is set at $10,000. And 1 count of use or possession of drug-related objects. Bond is set at $1,500. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning. Courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your ability to bond out. And you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, but what happens if I get another lawyer?
Just notify the lawyer that has been appointed to you that you have hired a lawyer so that lawyer can withdraw from your case.
Okay.
All right. So do you want me to see if you qualify?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify. Going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any other questions for me?
No.
Okay, ma'am. You're free to go back.
Judge,
Yes.
before you give me the last numbers and the amounts again, because this is not an order.
Okay. So 7-6 bond is set at $500.
Okay,
7-7 bond is set at $10,000.
okay,
7-8 bond is set at $10,000. 7-9 bond is set at $1,500. 8-0 bond is set at $10,000. 8-1 bond is set at $10,000. 8-2 bond is set at $10,000. And finally, 8-3 bond is set at $1,500.
Thank you very much. Sorry about that.
No problem. Miss, is it Van Marisa?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. This is a misdemeanor. Fine is going to be set at $3,000. You're also charged with 1 count of battery. This is also a misdemeanor. Bond is going to be set at $5,000. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond, to stay away from a Kelly Allen and Alexis Murphy. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May 31st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
You do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back. Okay, let's switch over to the male side. Give me 1 second, Mr. Acosta. Okay, Mr. Acosta.
Yes,
Sir, you're charged with 1 count of false imprisonment and 1 count of family violence battery. False imprisonment was listed as a misdemeanor, but it's a felony offense. So bond is going to be set at $5,000 on the false imprisonment and $5,000 on the family violence battery. There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from Erica De La Torre. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you will get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, Your Honor.
You do qualify, Mr. Acosta. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
So you said both were 5,000?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Mr. Adams. And Miss Mary, I don't know if this is reflected on your calendar, but on my bond sheet, there is a charge that was left off, so I wrote it in. It's the failure to maintain lane, and the final 2 digits are 85. So Mr. Adams, that's a misdemeanor offense, and I'm setting the bond at $500 on the failure to maintain lane. 8-6 is leaving the scene of an accident. I'm setting the bond at $1,500. And then 8-7 is the DUI less safe. I'm setting the bond at $5,000. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 31st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, Mr. Adams, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
You do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Banks. Mr. Banks, sir, you're charged with 2 offenses: possession of marijuana less than an ounce, and you are also charged with possession of firearm during the commission of a felony. Now, possession of marijuana is a misdemeanor, so You're getting the bond set at 1,500 on the possession of marijuana less than an ounce. And I'm dismissing the possession of a weapon during the commission of a felony. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May 31st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, Your Honor.
You do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you're free to go back.
All right.
Mr. Chambers. Good morning, Mr. Chambers. You're charged with one count of criminal trespass, basically being in a vacant house. I'm setting the bond at $1,500 for that. You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 31st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay, how much do you earn per hour?
Probably about like 15.
Okay. You do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
There's no way to dismiss that so I can go home today?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you.
Stay out of people's homes and you won't have to come to jail. Okay? All right, you're free to go back. Mr. Cooper. Mr. Cooper, sir, you're charged with one count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, simple possession of cocaine. I'm setting a bond at $3,000 for that. You're charged with one count of theft of lost or mislaying property. I'm setting the bond, or the bond has been preset at $2,000. And you're charged with crossing the roadway at other than a crosswalk, which is commonly known as jaywalking. Bond is going to be set at $500 for that. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Now, are you currently employed, Mr. Cooper?
No, sir.
Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me? I'm sorry, did you say no?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, Mr. Cooper. Mr. Finney?
How you doing, Your Honor?
I'm doing well. Mr. Finney, you're charged with one count of criminal damage to property in the second degree. This is a felony offense. I'm denying the bond at this stage because of your extensive criminal history. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond, a stay away from a Cayana offer. Do you understand that?
Sir, may I have permission to come back last to speak with you? That's what I was going to ask before we started giving me the information. And I got permission from the officer. He said I just need to speak with you first.
Sure.
Thank
Let's hold on to Mr. Finney and we'll bring him back. But Mr. Finney, you're not going to change my mind. So if that's what you're trying to get me to do, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not changing my mind.
No, I totally understand, sir.
Okay. Mr. Gooden. Mr. Gooden, sir, you're charged with one count of criminal trespass. Bond is going to be set at $5,000 for this offense. There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond, stay away from a Lemay Newman. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May 31st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay. You do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you're free to go back, Mr. Gooden. Mr. Grayer.
Your Honor, I'm asking for a continuance with Mr. Grayer. He was, I don't know if Deputy Bush emailed you about him, so he would need to be continued for tomorrow.
Okay. If
He needs to be what?
I'm gonna do a continuance for him to be brought back tomorrow.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Give me 1 second. I just need to make a note. Okay, Mr. Hill has been sent back. See, he was on yesterday's calendar. Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones, sir, you're charged with 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce. This is a misdemeanor offense. Bond is going to be set at $1,500. You're also charged with contributing to the delinquency or deprivation of minors. Bond is going to be set at $2,000. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 31st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Ain't that like a public defender?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I filled the paper out already. But
Yes,
I was trying to see, you said the bond is what?
Okay, it's going to be a total bond of $3,500.
All right.
You do qualify. I'm appointing a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any other questions for me?
What's the second charge you said?
Contributing to the delinquency or deprivation of minors.
I got one more question. I was trying to see, could I do a signature bond?
No, sir.
All right.
Okay, you're free to go back.
All right.
Mr. Kemp. Mr. Kemp, sir, you're charged with 1 count of family violence battery.
Oh, my bad.
Are you with me, Mr. Kemp?
Oh, yes, I just had to get the pen back.
Okay. You're charged with 1 count of family violence battery. Bond is going to be set at $5,000. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond, a stay away from a Tierra Best. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May 31st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you will get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
I'm going to find that you qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Yes, about the Tierra Stairway, we have 5 kids together. So how are we gonna get
Sir,
past?
I don't know. I don't know. So you're aware of the allegation, right?
Yeah, I do. Not really though, but you know, it was an
Well,
argument.
it says that you punched her in the face during an argument and they saw that there was a bruise on her left eye. So if you care about your 5 children, y'all need to, figure out something else to do when you have a disagreement. Play poker, do something other than get into a verbal altercation that may lead to someone placing their hands on someone else. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that didn't happen, but yeah.
And you are presumed innocent, and that's why we're appointing lawyers.
Okay.
The allegation is that you punched her. I don't know what happened, but I can't just send you back into the home with the allegation that you punched her in the face.
Okay, so I got, I gotta resolve that.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
all right, thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Lemay.
How you doing, Your Honor?
How are you doing? Mr. Lemay, you're charged with 1 count of simple assault. That's a misdemeanor. Bond is going to be set at $4,000. You're charged with also possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Bond is going to be set at $10,000. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from an Anita Cook. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. As far as that, she's in my home. My name is on the lease. Her name is not. She asked for a set amount of days, and actually that night, that's what happened. I was telling her that those set amount of days that she asked.
Hold on. I'm gonna let you speak, Mr. Lemay, but let me get out the information I gotta convey to you, okay?
Okay.
So your preliminary hearing date is gonna be set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
All right, you do qualify, Mr. Lemay. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Now, I cut you off. Please don't discuss the facts of your case, but tell me what it is that you wanted to tell me.
She's in my resident. As I said, she had asked for a set amount of days, and those days were up. So as far as me staying away from her, is it possible that she has to be out of my home?
No, see, and that's the thing, unfortunately, that people don't understand when they bring people into their home, commonly called shacking up. Because once you let somebody into your home, that person establishes residence there, you got to go through the eviction process of getting that person out. You just can't kick them out, even though it's your home and you're paying the bills. You allowed that condition to exist. So you got to then do the right thing to unwind that and unpack that. So in the future, don't let anybody live with you unless you're married to them. Okay?
Yeah, what was that bond? 10.
Total bond is $14,000.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm not unsympathetic to what you're saying, Mr. Lemay, but picture the reverse. You move in with her and there's an allegation that she beat on you, and then she goes to jail, and then the police come knocking on the door telling you to pack your stuff and leave. You would say, that's not fair. I'm getting kicked out because she hit me. Does that make sense to you? I know you don't have to agree with it.
In part, but not related to my situation.
Okay.
But I understand. Thank you, sir.
Yes, speak to your lawyer, and I'm certain your lawyer will be able to help you navigate these waters.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Mr. Morrell. Mr. Morrell, sir, you're charged with 1 count of contributing to the delinquency or deprivation of a minor. Bond is going to be set at $2,000. You're also charged with 2 felony offenses. One is theft by receiving stolen property, and the other is possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. So it's showing that you're either on probation or parole, so I cannot set bond on these offenses pursuant to Georgia statute 17-10-1. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. You're going to also have a bond hearing date set for June 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
If I'm able to get my own lawyer, I could just find the one that y'all couldn't put me.
Yes, you can hire your own lawyer, and your lawyer may be able to get with the district attorney's office based upon your circumstances, and they may agree to a bond before that date. But
and also, sir, how do I get my police report or evidence about my case?
Through the arresting agency. It looks like it's Clayton County Police Department. So you should contact the Records Division, Clayton County Police Department.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Mr. Turnipseed. Mr. Turnipseed, sir, you're charged with 1 count of family violence battery. Bond is going to be set at $5,000. You're also charged with 1 count of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Bond is going to be set at $3,000. There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond, stay away from a Pamela Sharon Turnipseed. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May 31st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. The date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
About how much do you make per hour?
29.
Okay. That's on the edge, but I'm going to find that you qualify. Going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
The date again?
May 31st at 8:30 in the morning. But that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Watkins. Good afternoon, sir. You're charged with 1 count of obstructing an officer. Bond is going to be set at $2,000. You're also charged with 1 count of giving a false name, address, or date of birth. Bond is going to be set at $3,000. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May 31st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date. Hold on, sir. I'll let you speak at the end, okay?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May 31st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Looks like you refuse to fill out the form. So is it your intent to hire your own lawyer or represent yourself?
No, sir, I need a court lawyer, sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Hold on, Mr. Watkins, please. Are you currently working?
No, sir.
Okay. I'm going to find that you qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any other questions for me?
No, sir, that'll be it, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Finney. Hold on 1 second, Mr. Finney.
Okay. Oh, okay. It says the internet connection is unstable.
Okay, Mr. Finney, just so I make certain that I tell you what I'm supposed to tell you. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. And you're going to have a bond hearing date set for June 3rd at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. And would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to find that you qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Now, what is it that you wanted to tell me, Mr. Finney?
For the 3rd, what is that? Is that like a higher court that's gonna appoint me bond? Like, what is the reason for the 3rd? Like, what is the difference?
So preliminary hearings are held on one day and bond hearings are held on another day.
Right, but the bond court date that you set for the 3rd, what kind of bond hearing is that? In reference to different from today, what kind of different bond is?
So today is a first appearance hearing, and it's called an initial appearance hearing. Can be called a committal hearing, but the purpose of this hearing is to, as soon as possible, get those who are eligible bonds and lawyers, and then set court dates. That's all we do here today.
Okay. And what I wanted to speak to you about, sir, was I actually was gonna ask to make sure that I got a bond in reference to me having to get out and like, I just have things that I need to pay for. I'm independent. I came here about a year or so ago when I first tried to relocate to Georgia. And I got extradited, but I remember I spoke with you and I said, I'm gonna be back. I just had a child. We're about to have a child. The child is here now. I'm happy. We're happy about the child. The child's here. I've been taking care of the child. I came back like I spoke to you about and said that I would be back. Now I'm actually a resident of Atlanta. Like I actually have a Georgia ID. I just went from temporary to permanent. Was supposed to start my first day permanent for the company that I work for, Fernard, off of Hallowell Parkway. This has been since I've been back, since I spoke with you the last time, and I wasn't under any criminal charges at that time. I was being extradited for being here, and I got extradited there, released, came back. I'm legally here now, working and provide for my family. And I totally understand that okay, I'm here regardless. I could have did things to prevent from being in front of you today, and I take full responsibility for that. But my family can't afford for me to not be able to get a bond today, and my employment opportunity, and I believe that I show stability and I show accountability and I show, and it's validated from you directly that I am a man of my word.
Okay, so Mr. Finney, you were convicted on July 25th of 2019 in South Carolina of threatening the life of a public employee, correct?
Actually, we might have some mix-ups. I don't ever even remember ever having that must be mixed up with me. Because I'm on probation. I was extradited back to South Carolina for things that had to do with my family, a family case. It had nothing to do with me threatening public officials or public employees or anything like that.
Okay, let me finish. All right. So you have 23 cycles out of South Carolina, which is 23 encounters with law enforcement. This is the 22nd cycle, the one of a conviction for threatening the life of a public employee. And it says that your palm prints were taken, meaning that they were matching you, not just name, but matching you up through fingerprint system. The allegation from yesterday is that you damaged Miss Alford's door during an argument that, let's see, within the argument within the child, that you then punched an LG TV valued at $200, which caused it to be damaged. Says that she attempted to separate herself from you by leaving the residence, which led to you jumping on the victim's hood, a 2013 Hyundai Tucson, while the victim was traveling up Dorsey Road, Flint River Road. The offender began kicking the windshield with his foot and hand, refusing to get off. The victim was able to make it to Quick Trip on 8805 Tara Boulevard in attempts to locate help. Says the officer observed the offender, meaning you, to have minor glass cuts on your right forearm from striking the windshield. This incident was witnessed by an unbiased witness who completed a written statement form. The offender and victim previously resided together and shared one child together. That's why your bond is being denied. Okay?
Oh, in reference to these marks on my forearm have been there for years. These are permanent marks.
Okay. I'm just telling you what was sworn to in this warrant, and that there's a witness that wrote a witness statement form saying that they observed what she said happened.
And I totally understand that, and I'm glad that you gave me that information, because right now in here with an officer, if he looks at all of these cuts that are on my forearm, They're not.
Mr. Finney, I am not gonna waste time, sir. I told you I'm not gonna change my mind.
It
But
proves
apparently,
reasonable doubt to your
Mr. Finney, I told you I wasn't gonna change my mind. Did I not tell you that?
These are new.
Listen to the judge, listen.
Did I tell you I was not going to change my mind? And if that's what you're trying to speak to me about, that's not gonna happen. But it appears that that's what you're speaking to me about changing my mind.
No, I didn't understand that I never heard the information that you just gave me. So me being who I am, and I'm not trying to be offensive to the courts or anything, when I hear information about this being used to convict me for you to make your decision, the information you're using to make your decision right now can be proved that it is not truth by my physical self. My physical self is not even what they said.
Let me ask you this. Were you not charged February 24th, 2018 with criminal domestic violence, attempted murder, neglect by legal custodian in South Carolina?
Yes, sir, I was.
Okay. So as a judge, my job is to protect the public. And from what I'm seeing, not saying that you did any of this, but what I'm seeing is that you are potentially a threat to public safety. And it says that you were supposed to take mental health treatment. Did you get your mental health treatment?
Yes, sir. I'm involved in all of that since I've been in Atlanta in reference to like everything I'm supposed to do for my legalities since the last time you saw me when I was being extradited back to South Carolina. I have done to be able to be here to have the employment opportunity I have as well. Like I've been doing everything in reference to like to not be viewed as some threat to society that shouldn't be able to like to work. And on top of that, the information you gave me is the only reason I spoke up is because it said by the marks on my forearm is why they said that I had done something. The marks on my forearm
and the person who is unbiased that witnessed everything and wrote a statement.
So they said about my forearm.
You keep forgetting about that. The witness statement was not talking about your forearm. The witness statement was supposedly talking about you on top of the car. So that has nothing to do with your forearm.
Right. It has nothing to do with my forearm, but it shows.
Mr. Finney, you are free to go back, sir. Your bond is going to be denied. You have your court dates.
That's all I want to know is why I was being denied. I apologize if I offended you, Your Honor.
No, you got to understand, I've given you the information that you need to go to the next step, which is to talk to your lawyer and say, this is what they said I did. I didn't do it, blah, 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 blah. But I'm telling you, if you were on a hood at a Quick Trip, they got videos 9 ways to Sunday of you being on that hood. So it behooves you to speak to your lawyer first before you start saying what you did or did not do.
Honestly, Your Honor, videos of somebody hanging onto a car that has injuries doesn't mean that they're an aggressor. It actually visually looks as if maybe they got hit by a car and were holding on for dear life.
I understand. You're free to go back, Mr. Finney.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond Court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond Court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
Fantastic is here with pretrial. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Judge Egan. I'll take care of your initial appearances today. We're gonna bring you up one at a time, take a look at the reason why you were picked up. If you qualify for a bond, we'll set a bond as well as other conditions of release, okay? If you have any questions, I suggest you just run them by Mr. Lopez there before you say anything out loud. You could hurt your case if you say something that could be used against you, okay? We don't look like there's too busy today, so this shouldn't take too long. We've got a few Spanish speakers. We can take care of them first. So we've got Heriberto Eddie Almonte. He can come up to the podium and let me see if I can get the interpreter here.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Laura Bretaña, Spanish interpreter, previously sworn.
Fantastic. How are you today?
Fine, and you?
I'm doing fine. So yeah, we've got, I think, 3 cases. The first one is 22 MM1124, and he's at the podium. Can you ask him if he is Heriberto Almonte, please?
Señores, ¿acaso usted Jorge Alberto Almonte? Yes.
Okay, let's see. I have reviewed the police report, and I do find probable cause for 1 count of petty theft.
Habiendo repasado el documento acusatorio, determinó que existen indicios de criminalidad para un cargo de hurto de menor cuantía.
We can set bond in the amount of $250.
Se concede fianza en la cantidad de $250.
And we would order Mr. Almonte not to return to the, I think it's the visitor flea market on West Earl Bronson Highway.
Y se le prohíbe al señor Almonte regresar al pulguero, creo que es en el pulguero Visitor en la West Earl Bronson.
And we can appoint the office of the public defender to represent him.
Se designa la oficina del abogado de oficio para que les represente.
Thank you.
Gracias. Thank you.
Okay, and the next case I think is Javier Ortiz Rivera. Madam Interpreter is 22 CF 1457. He's at the podium. If you can ask him if he is indeed Javier Ortiz Rivera.
Señores, ¿acaso usted Javier Ortiz Rivera?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Rivera, I have reviewed the police report, and I do find probable cause for 1 count of possession of cocaine and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia.
Muy bien, señora, habiendo repasado el documento acusatorio, determinó que existen indicios de criminalidad para un cargo de tenencia de cocaína y un cargo de tenencia de instrumentos para el uso de drogas.
He does qualify for pretrial release, it looks like, so he can participate in the PTR program.
Él cumple con los requisitos del programa de libertad provisional, así que podrá participar del mismo.
And we can appoint the office of the public defender to represent him.
Y se designa la oficina del abogado de oficio para que le presente.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
All right, Madam Interpreter, I think the final one is Jose Valentin Rodriguez. It's 2022 MM1134. And can you ask him if he is Jose Valentin Rodriguez, please?
Señores, ¿acaso usted José Valentín Rodríguez?
Sí. Okay.
Yes.
I have reviewed the police report. I do find probable cause for 1 count of domestic violence battery.
Muy bien, habiendo repasado el documento acusatorio, determino que existen indicios de criminalidad para un cargo de agresión física por violencia doméstica.
We can set bond in the amount of $1,500.
Se concede fianza en la cantidad de $1,500.
We would order no, as a condition of release, no contact with the alleged victim.
Como condición de su puesta en libertad, se le prohíbe todo tipo de contacto con la víctima.
They'll have to maintain separate residences while this is pending, so he can return to the house 1 time with law enforcement to obtain his belongings.
Se le prohíbe la convivencia con la víctima mientras el caso esté abierto, así que se le permitirá regresar en una ocasión acompañado de las autoridades para recoger sus pertenencias.
He's also not to possess any weapons or firearms as a condition of release.
También, como condición de su puesta en libertad, se le prohíbe la tenencia de todo tipo de armas y armas de fuego.
If he does own firearms, those would be surrendered to law enforcement within 24 hours of his release.
Si usted es titular de algún arma de fuego, tendrá que entregarla a las autoridades en un plazo de 24 horas luego de ser puesto en libertad.
And we will appoint the office of the public defender.
Y se designa la oficina del abogado de oficio.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And Madam Interpreter, I think that's it. Appreciate your help.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a great day.
Thank you, you as well.
Okay, how about Matthew Davis? Come up to the podium, please. Hi, are you Mr. Davis?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Davis. Looks like you were picked up on an arrest warrant. Probable cause was found for one count of possession of a controlled substance, fentanyl, one count of possession of cocaine, one count of possession of heroin in a syringe, and one count of drug paraphernalia. She said bond as to count one, the fentanyl amount of $10,000, counts 2 and 3, $1,500 each, and count 4, $500. We can appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent Mr. Davis. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay, Michael David Juhas? Thank you. You, Mr. Juhas?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Juhas. Looks like yeah, you got picked up on a warrant Judge Epperson issued failing to appear on March the 14th. He's got you set for a $500 bond, and we can appoint the PD's office to represent you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Juhas. All right, is it Beasley or Clifford Beasley?
Your Honor, defense will be requesting a 24-hour reset. He's in medical.
Okay, we can reset him for tomorrow, that's fine. How about Isaiah Brown? Are you here for Isaiah Brown? You can come on up, ma'am. And ma'am, you're welcome to stand at the podium or you can sit in the witness chair, whatever you're more comfortable doing. Stand? Okay, all right.
Hear me okay?
I can. Let me take care of what's here first. Are you Mr. Brown?
Yes.
All right, so we can see you there. I have reviewed the police report and we do find probable cause for one count of domestic violence battery. And we have someone here, I believe you must be Shanice Brown. Can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Brown, what is your relationship with Mr. Isaiah Brown?
Isaiah is my son.
Son, okay. So y'all live together, is that right?
Yes.
All right. I know someone reached out for you. I've got a note here that says you're okay having contact with him if he's released.
Yes.
Okay. Are you in fear of him?
No.
Has he ever struck you before?
No.
Okay. And if he were to go home and something happens, you'd have to call the police. Again, we wouldn't be able to protect you. Do you understand that?
I do understand.
Does the state have any questions for Ms. Brown?
Just one question. It looks like your sister, Vendretti Brown, was present on this day. Does she live with you?
She doesn't, but we're on vacation, so she was here when this happened.
Okay, but otherwise, if Isaiah is living with you or having contact with you, you wouldn't necessarily have to have contact.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any further questions, Judge.
Ms. Brown, I don't want you to talk too much, but what does Isaiah do? Does he work? Does he have a job?
He doesn't. He is currently unemployed.
Unemployed?
Bipolar and epilepsy, and we have been in and out of the courts and medical since he was 5 years old. The problem is Isaiah doesn't think he needs help, and I am begging for medical help. I have been through this over and over again.
And Mr. Lopez, I don't know if you can hear her because she's got a voice, but she just informed me that Mr. Brown has bipolar, and they've been struggling with mental health issues since he was a child, I believe. So,
Your Honor, I was also informed that he does suffer from seizures, just for the court.
okay. Does he have medication, Ms. Brown?
For seizures, but the bipolar, no.
Okay.
He's refused.
Does he get treatment for the bipolar?
We just started seeing a new therapist, and our first appointment is 2 weeks from today to be exact.
So you have an appointment 2 weeks from today. Okay. I'm okay releasing him on his own recognizance with the condition he have no hostile contact with you. If he's not working, I don't know if we need to have him post a bond, if that's okay with you.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll release him on his own recognizance with the instructions that he has no hostile contact with his mom or anyone else who lives there at the house. I'm also going to order that he go to the appointment you have scheduled.
So much.
Okay? So Isaiah, your mom's got an appointment set for you in about 2 weeks. If you don't go to that appointment, we're going to have you picked up. We don't want to do that. So, Mom, you'd have to let State Attorney's Office know if he refuses to go to the appointment, they will know what to do, or law enforcement would know what to do. But hopefully, we'll get him there and get him on some medication and hopefully get you back on the right track, okay? We will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent Mr. Brown, I think that's about it. It's important he has no hostile contact with Mom and attend the appointment, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good luck, Isaiah. Or Mr. Brown, sorry. Okay, how about Nelson Camacho?
President approaching, Your Honor.
Are you Mr. Camacho? Yeah.
Your Honor, Mr. Camacho is hard of hearing.
Okay, that's fine. Mr. Camacho, are you able to hear me? Okay, all right. I do find probable cause for one count of battery. This is not domestic, one count of battery. We can set his bond the amount of $500. Order no contact with the victim alleged, no return to the location on 44 Andrews Court as a condition of release, and we can appoint the PD's office to represent Mr. Camacho.
Your Honor, Mr. Camacho does qualify for direct PTR. At this time, defense will be requesting direct PTR.
Oh, okay, yeah, I must have missed it. That's fine. He can do PTR with the same condition of no contact, no return, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Camacho. All right, how about Yalel Cabrera?
John Doe?
Yeah. John Doe, yeah. Yeah, it's 22MM112A. It came in as John Doe. I believe it's now Yalel Cabrera. Is he there?
Your Honor, he is not here. He's also in medical. We would be requesting a 24-hour.
That's fine. We can reset tomorrow. 1 o'clock. How about Kevin Garcia?
President approaching.
Mother's here.
Okay. Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Garcia? Okay. And you're his mom? Okay. Okay.
I can't hear too well from my right ear, so.
Okay.
I just need you to speak a little louder.
I will do my best, okay? I've reviewed the police report. We do find probable cause for one count of domestic violence battery. Okay, we can set his bond the amount of $1,000. Order he have no contact with the victim alleged. If they live together, they'll have to maintain separate residences while this is pending. He can return with law enforcement one time to get some of his things. If Mr. Garcia has firearms, those do need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 24 hours of release while this is pending, and we can appoint the Office of the Public Defender. Okay? Thank you. So, ma'am, he's got a $1,000 bond. You're welcome to go bond him out if you'd like, okay?
Okay, they give you time to get the money or something?
Yeah, he's not going anywhere, but yeah, you'll need you'll need a money order. You can get it at 7-Eleven, but it's $1,000. Okay.
I don't work, so okay, how that goes?
You can get Lorenzo. You're going to go to a bondsman. It'll cost you $100 probably, but Lorenzo will let you know. Okay. How about Felix Garcia Soto?
President approaching, Your Honor.
Are you Mr. Soto?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's see. The case here, 22 CF 1454, we do find probable cause for one count of tampering with an electronic monitor. That's a $2,500 bond. Is this probation in Polk County?
Yes, Judge, I'm showing it's out of Polk County.
Okay, so I don't think I should do anything with that. Polk County may be reaching out to you because you may have violated your probation, but I'm only dealing with your Osceola County case. It's a $2,500 bond. We can appoint the PD's office to represent you, okay? All right, thank you. All right, how about Shannon Hallas?
President approaching, Your Honor.
Are you Miss Hallas? Yes. All right, Miss Hallas, on 22 CF 1455, I do find probable cause for one count of possession of a controlled substance. That was heroin. Bond would be set in the amount of $1,000. Count 2, there's probable cause for drug paraphernalia possession. That's a $500 bond. I know she was ROR'd on case 22 CF 546, but it looks like there was no probable cause found there. Was I wrong? So I don't think we'll take any action on that. I just don't think there was any PC found.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. So you got a bond on this case. Ms. Hallas will appoint the PD to represent you, okay? Be careful. All right, how about William King?
President approaching, Your Honor.
You're Mr. King?
Yes, sir.
Mr. King Senior, is that right?
Yeah, my son's got two middle names, so I'm senior.
Okay, gotcha. All right, we do find probable cause for one count of domestic violence battery. I do think that does.
May I say something about that?
No, well, tell you what, whisper something to Mr. Lopez, but you probably shouldn't talk about the case.
Your Honor, against advice of counsel, Mr. King would like to address the court.
And Mr. King, let me just, before you say anything, I'm basing my decision on what's written in this police report and only what's written in the police report. Nothing you say today is going to change what happens, and you could hurt yourself if you say something.
I'll let him speak.
Okay? What I want to know is, and Mr. Lopez, do they live together? This involved his son. They live together?
Yes, Your Honor. He's
But I
currently
can
living
move out
together.
immediately tomorrow.
But he can find a separate residence to maintain the separate residences.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's going to have to do that if the son moves out, he's welcome to go back there, but.
No, I'll move out myself.
Okay, okay. But what we'll do is we'll set your bond, probable cause for domestic violence battery. We can set his bond in the amount of $1,000, order no contact with the alleged victim. They do have to maintain separate residences as a condition of release. Mr. King will have to surrender firearms if he has any within 24 hours of release. And did this involve alcohol?
I don't see any reference
Okay,
of
all right,
alcohol, Judge.
All right. And we can appoint the PD, okay? So, Mr. King, you can't live with him while this is pending, so be careful. If he moves out, you're welcome to go back as long as he's not there, okay?
Question?
Yes, sir.
I know it's probably not possible for a pretrial release because I have no way to bond out.
Okay. You can't come up with $100?
$100 all I need.
Well, if you go to a bondsman, it's probably going to be $100.
I can't do it. How can I do it in the jail, though? Is it possible to do it from here?
I can see if the state has any objection. Any history with these two? Father and son?
I don't see any history between the two of them. I'll leave the matter of pretrial release to your honor if you believe he would otherwise be eligible. I don't have a strong position on that.
And Mr. Moreno, his criminal history, what's that look like?
Your Honor, he has history dating back to 1998. Nothing recent as far as a criminal traffic case in 2019 and a DUI in 98. No prior DV history.
Okay, so nothing, there's a drug offense, nothing violent?
Nothing.
Okay, all right. All right, Mr. King, we can allow you to do pretrial release, okay? No bond, okay? Yeah, still no contact with your son as a condition of release and maintain separate residences. They'll instruct you on what you have to do. You'll be checking in with pretrial services, okay?
I'll immediately move out of the house.
Your Honor.
Your Honor, unfortunately, it cannot be a direct PTR per the admin order. However, if you do a $100 bond with PTR, you would be able to do that.
That would still cost them $100 though, is the problem.
got no way to
Well,
The other option, Your Honor, could be an ROR.
The state would object to an ROR given the nature of the charge.
how does that admin order read?
Any dangerous crime, any 907 per Florida statute is required to have a monetary bond.
But that doesn't include all domestic violence batteries. We do.
Include domestic violence batteries fall into the dangerous crimes under that statute, Judge.
I could have sworn I've PTR'd. Has no one ever just, I've PTR'd?
I have had judges PTR. I don't know what the result is.
They've given bond with PTR, like a $50 bond with PTR or an ROR. I know in Orange County, theirs is a little bit different, and they do direct PTR without a bond.
We can't ROR with PTR.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
All right, well, what does PTR, what are the standard conditions of pretrial release? If it's just no hostile contact or no contact plus PTR, what happens? How's that work?
We have to monitor his conditions, making sure he's going to court, making sure he's reporting as he's supposed to, whether or not it will be once a month or once a week, and following and making sure if the victim has any questions or if he gets in contact with the victim, they contact us, and that'll be a violation, so forth.
Can you come up with $50, Mr. King?
I don't have it on me, but I can have my son come up here and drop charges on me.
All right, well, we can do $50 plus $50 bond plus pretrial release. So get on the phone and have someone help you out. We'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, okay?
Can I clarify one matter? There's two of his children that are listed in the police report, a Cody Keene and a William Keene Jr. Is the court ordering no contact with both? Or if not, if the court can specify which victim you're ordering no contact with?
If I read this correctly, Cody King was appears to be the one that was in the physical altercation. So that would be no contact with Cody King. It looks like William Jr. Is okay. Mr. King Jr. stated he did put his hands on his father in an effort to remove him from his younger brother. Mr. King Jr. stated his father was not trying to choke his younger brother. So it looks like the junior was just trying to break things up. So,
Okay,
the no contact is with Cody King, okay?
Thank you.
All right, good luck, Mr. King. All right, how about Marshal Bryant?
Your Honor, for the record, this qualifies for direct PTR, both cases.
Thank you. You, Mr. Bryant, sorry, you're Mr. Marshall? All right, Mr. Marshall, you have two cases, 22 MM 113. We do find probable cause for petty theft. Your other case is 22 CF 1456, probable cause for one count of possession of cocaine, one count of possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, one count of drug paraphernalia. You do qualify for pretrial release as to all the matters, so we can allow you to do direct PTR. We'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. We're going to order you not return to the location of the alleged theft. I think that's at CVS on 7615 West Earl Bronson Highway, so you need to stay away from there, okay?
Okay.
All right, thanks, Ms. Marshall. Okay, how about, is it Angela Beloinius?
Your Honor, I believe Ms. Belonianis
All right, she bonded out. Marcus Hamilton?
President approaching, Your Honor, one moment.
Are you Mr. Hamilton?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Hamilton, you have two cases. The first one is 22 CF 1458. We do find probable cause for one count of burglary of an unoccupied vehicle. We'd set your bond amount of $3,500 there. One count of criminal mischief causing damage of $1,000 or more. We could set your bond amount of $1,000 for that count. One count of petty theft and set your bond amount of $250. Case 22 CF 1459, we do find probable cause for one count of grand theft auto. That'd be a $2,500 bond. And then burglary to an unoccupied vehicle, we can set that at $150. We're going to order that you have no contact with any of the alleged victims as in these cases, no return to the location of the alleged offenses. We can appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you in these cases, okay? Thank you, sir. In a case from yesterday, 22 CF 1434, he refused to appear. We set his bond. He's out on bond in 21 CF 2102, 21 CF 2157. I don't remember what those cases are about. One thing we could do, is he still in jail? This is Mr. Austin Spencer.
Isn't his PTR sheet attached? No, I can look it up. Judge, 2021 CF 2057 is a possession of cocaine, and he actually was only charged as a possession of methamphetamine. That's currently assigned to Division 101 before Judge Young. And his other case is 2021 CF 2102, is that correct? That's a possession of fentanyl.
Okay. And the new case was meth. I'd be inclined to revoke the bonds, but if he's still, we can bring him back tomorrow. That's if he's at the jail. Do we know if is he in jail still?
Should still be in there.
Okay, we're going to set Mr. Spencer for tomorrow because if we're going to forfeit those bonds, I think he's got the right to be in court for that. So as to this case, which is 22 CF 1434, we're going to withdraw the bond I set for him yesterday. So he's not bonding out, but I'll see him tomorrow. We're certainly going to give him a bond in that case, but we can talk about forfeiting the other bonds. Someone may want to make an argument against that. I think he's got the right to be in court to do that, okay? So that makes any sense? We're revoking the bond that I set yesterday. That will be readdressed tomorrow if he shows up. If not, we can deal with it without him, okay? Thanks, guys. Anything else, Mr. Lopez? All right, have a good day.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Oh, thank you.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.